Welcome back to another episode of the Block Runner Podcast. I'm your host, William, always here with your co-host, Iman.
What's going on, dude?
And on the sticks, we got TJ.
Hello.
You're blocked, TJ.
I'm blocked.
You're blocked.
So,
I am blocked.
So are you, Iman.
I think we're all blocked.
Yeah, we're all blocked. How's it feel, gentlemen, to be blocked?
Well, I've never been. Well, I think I've been. You know who blocked me once?
Let me guess.
Ex-girlfriend.
Elon
No,
Musk.
They've never blocked. No, Elon does not block me, dude.
Doesn't even know you exist, dude. How's that?
He's
how's that make you
answered
feel?
a few text messages. So
Okay, who blocked you, dude?
it was the guy who did Richard Hart.
What? Really?
Yeah, you don't remember that?
Oh, because we made that video like 5 years ago?
Yeah, Hex.
God, he's saying like Hex is... Be scared. Be wary of Hex, guys. I remember that.
That's all he says. Like,
I'm proud to be blocked with you guys.
Yeah.
well, we are the block runners, right?
Oh, that's a good one, dude. So what does that imply?
Zing.
This block has multiple meanings, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, we've done a block out several times. We've done the block runner. You know?
Yeah, how fortunate the name actually ended up being, dude.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Like when we were sitting there in your kitchen 5 years ago or so, maybe almost 6 years ago, we're like, dude, what name we're gonna call ourselves? Right? We're just gonna talk about crypto and shit.
Yeah,
You know, there's this possibilities are infinite, right?
it was.
I don't know how we derived that block runner, but I do remember like I don't know, it just felt right in the moment, right?
Yeah,
Do you recall?
I think it was. I don't know. It was like a play on words for Blade Runner,
Okay.
and it was like metaverse-y.
No, we weren't
Retro.
thinking metaverse
But
really.
but
at
it
that
was
time.
retro, like cyberpunk.
Yeah, I don't know. It just happened to be perfect, you know, because we didn't really have a clear direction as far as like what we wanted this podcast to be. We knew we liked crypto, right? We just like witnessed the 2017-18 cycle.
Yeah,
Pretty crazy stuff. You know, Bitcoin was a big deal. We knew we were going to spend a lot of time talking about Bitcoin, but this is before the days where, you know, Bitcoin was actually interesting. It was just Bitcoin, right? People were hodling. That was the only thing, but
yeah.
still big deal. But yeah, and the metaverse, we didn't really have the context of it the way we do now during those
No.
days either, right?
Yeah, but even the context of it hasn't really changed. I mean, we sort of intuitively understood that there was an economic layer requirement, especially for a Web3 metaverse.
But not
Instantly.
not
no.
in that kitchen, dude.
No, not in the kitchen. No.
We didn't even know Decentralized was like part of the market, really. You know,
Yeah.
that completely like missed my radar during like 2017.
No, 2017, I did see people buying parcels.
I totally did not.
Yeah. And I was like, why would anybody buy digital land? Like I didn't really like think about it too hard and look
Interesting.
into it.
Wow. Yeah, it's fascinating. So yeah, it took a 2019, I guess, rediscovery
Yeah.
of Decentraland when we were like probably like 20 or 30 episodes deep into this podcast or something.
Yeah.
We're like, wow, this is actually very interesting. We've just spent like the last several months, you know, talking about DeFi and
Yeah, this was in
Crypto.
a time where we were doing the podcast only audio.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think one of our first like actual visual podcasts
Was interviewing a DCL blogger, Maddie.
to try and like get us some more insight. Like, what is Decentraland, dude?
And I remember botching that recording too, like from a video standpoint.
yeah, man, you did botch that. Absolutely. What a travesty.
It was. I mean, it was like one of the best interviews, just because Maddie helped us understand Decentraland and what it was, because at the time it was just a gray grid, just a map, a square.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Kind of like what a bitmap is, right?
Yeah, that's right.
A bitmap, when you look at it in your wallet, you see a bunch of squares, right? Just it looks like a grid of some kind,
Yeah.
right? But in this grid, in these individual grids, they're assembled non-arbitrarily, right?
Right.
For the bitmap theory. So that is something that's unique and different than previous metaverse attempts, right? So, which is why we're here,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and experimenting and trying to essentially pull a DCL blogger, right? It's
Yeah.
like everyone's sitting there and looking at these orange squares and like wondering, like, what are we supposed to do with them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, the interesting opportunity is with these weird orange squares is that it is an open canvas for anyone to permissionlessly build on top of these said orange squares.
Yeah, that's what we assumed. That's what we thought. We thought the ethos of the community was going to be much more like centered around that idea, right?
Yeah.
That's what brought us in. It's like, hey, there's an open metaverse framework in this bitmap thing. There's a potential here to actually align an ecosystem of developers to start contributing towards the metaverse by building their own primitives, building their own infrastructure components.
Yeah, building what they think was going to be what actually sticks around.
Yeah, so we talked about these things religiously, essentially, like while Bitmap was on its up and up, right, in its early days.
Yeah, before anyone else was talking about it, right?
Before Bitoshi's exponential growth, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Bitoshi's exponential growth days, right?
Yeah, 0 to 300 in 14 days.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of drama or centered around that, right? It's like, which I don't know if it's worth really revisiting. It's just if you have the interest to really know the truth of things,
as every human does, every human likes drama, dude.
Well, that's not what I was going to say. I said if you have the interest to actually know the truth of things.
Oh, never mind. Yeah.
Just go through the catalog of what has actually been recorded, because we've documented the entire thing.
Correct.
We have a bitmap channel somewhere around here. You can click on these buttons here on the YouTube interface.
Yeah.
And you'll find a playlist called Bitmap, which has what?
Like 60 videos.
Yeah, so just go to the first one, right?
Yeah.
Bitmap video number 1, and you'll actually see the truth of the state of Bitmap before we introduced it to the public.
That's right.
It was literally a nothing burger. A nothing burger. It was Bitoshi sitting on the sideline wondering, when is anybody going to care about my little idea?
Yeah, and he hit up everybody, including Leonidas and
he knew he needed some kind of recognition, right? Some acknowledgement of this, right? So yeah, he got ultimately faded by everybody.
Except us.
Except us. We're the only ones. It's like, you know what, Bitoshi? We see something here. We have a lot of experience developing in the metaverse sector of Web3.
Yeah. And
you are genuinely introducing something new here. So we want to explore it with you.
Yeah, it was instantly interesting. And it still is equally as interesting as it was 15 months ago before the blockout.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. So again, back in those early days, so one of the things we saw is as these bitfeed.live districts were assembling, essentially a Bitcoin block, and the visualization of that, it's like, wow, each time there's a new potential virtual environment here. There's a new community can be born every single time a bitmap is created.
Yeah, and if a community already exists, they can be contextualized in the metaverse, in this 3D environment where your community can actually contribute.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's where we're at today, right? So we're jumping around literally inside of a bitmap.
Yeah.
If you can believe it or not.
Finally, right?
Yeah, I mean, we probably would have done this way sooner, but again, go through our video catalog and see why. We've been doing a lot of shit between Bitoshi's launch of Bitmap and where we are now with the NATRIX, right?
Yeah, when everything is said and done, we're definitely going to go back and we're going to outline everything that we built, because we're doing way too many things as it is.
Yeah. And
we're having to stand up way too many things and support way too many things, and we're trying to do it all.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so yeah, we're here on the NATRIX, and we are looking at NatDrip. So this is developed by Beasting from Outer Studios, and what this is going to be likely the very first business as an ordinal that we call a metaverse-enabled tokenized application.
Mm-hmm.
And so the cool thing about the DMT framework is that this kiosk can be completely unique. So you can imagine the top part could be like a giant NatCat head. Could be a unicorn. I mean, you can add all these different parts and then make the kiosk, the business itself, a unique non-arbitrary token.
Yeah.
Right, a UNAT. And so then that could be issued, sold at whatever price that he thinks makes sense, and then you purchase this, you deploy this on your parcel just as he has done. And then when somebody comes to purchase this wearable here, the landowner, which is this parcel owner, and the person that owns this kiosk, which could be somebody else, will generate some revenue as a result of the transaction going through. And we're going to be using smart contracts, if you watch our previous video, from ICP and TAP.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is this is what I guess the last year and a half of our journey here in crypto has been about, right? It's been witnessing and contributing to the development of this Bitcoin layer 1 ecosystem, right? It was fascinating to us once we got introduced to Ordinals January, February of last year. It's still ultra fascinating. So far, nothing has really truly emerged that has like shifted our gaze away from this space, right? We've been highly intent to understand how is this attempt at bringing like additional value to Bitcoin going to work as opposed to previous attempts like pre-Ethereum days, right? Those early core developers of Bitcoin, there were attempts to try and do similar things like what's being attempted today, right? But maybe there weren't enough devs. I don't know. There just wasn't enough industry experimentation at the time to really try and figure it out. I don't know, right? But why is this time around? How's it going to work? Why is it going to work this time as opposed to previously it did not? And then what are the results of that?
Well, I mean, with our experience, I mean, we looked at all these metaverses and we saw a pattern. And that pattern is the lack of economic incentives, right?
Yeah.
Right. So there isn't an incentive for parcels to, first of all, exist from the perspective of like a business owner. And that is that pattern that we're trying to sort of test in this in this environment, is that what would happen if you have like a team of developers focus on this economic layer of the metaverse, where creators such as Beasting, there he is right there. He's like donning like all kinds of cool shit. And by the way, Corv is over here. He's got the first crown.
Know what he's wearing? Our cool Block Runner shirt, dude?
No, he was. Beasting was.
He took it off.
Yeah, he took it off. Wait.
No, dude.
He took it off. So what would happen if we decide to align all the parties in the metaverse in a way where they're economically incentivized to support each other? What would happen? That's the test.
Developers. Well, it's not just developers, right?
Well, it's the creators and all the parties aligned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every ecosystem participant, because creators, the landowners, the participants in general. You don't have to own any asset. Actually, the real idea is, I guess, get the creators and landowners incentivization alignment, so that we can start producing the right content, right? That's going to bring in a real user base. That is the ultimate problem for, I think, all these Web3 metaverse attempts so far.
Yeah, look at that, dude. The NATRIX in green.
Is that green?
Yeah.
Okay, I can barely see that with my goggles, dude. With my glasses.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So here we are, jumping around the NATRIX. For some reason, you guys can't see me. I don't know. There's like a little glitch happening today. I see the rest of you guys, but I'm literally running in front of you, dude. And you don't see me.
That's weird.
I know.
Can you see yourself?
Yeah. And I see the rest of you guys.
Huh. That's interesting.
I feel very left out here, dude.
Yeah, that sucks.
I saw your nameplate.
Yeah. Oh, you do? Oh, is that it?
Yeah, that's
me, dude.
Don't you have a name?
I feel like I do.
I think you might be logged into the wrong wallet, maybe.
No, dude, this is definitely my wallet. I mean, I'm on my cat, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm on my cat.
I don't know. So yeah, this bug report time, dude. You gotta send this into the devs. Well, actually, they're here.
Try it. Yeah, they are here. Try refreshing the page and see what happens.
All right. Okay. I'll do that.
So yeah, that's the big test. Is like, what happens if we align all the participants of a metaverse, the landowner, the creators, the players, like the entire ecosystem. What happens if you align them for metaverse production? Like what would happen? And so every metaverse has not focused on that. There hasn't been a single one. Now, you can do it in some metaverses, specifically Decentraland, but the focus isn't there, and that's part of the problem, right? Decentraland and the team is, for some reason, focused on not the real problems, which is this economic layer, and for example, like the events that they put on, they're just parties.
Hey man, who doesn't like to party, dude? I think it's. I guess you don't.
Dude, I party every day.
I guess so. We're partying right now, dude. We're partying in front of our Nat Drip meta, dude. This is quite the festivity.
Huh.
Is it not?
It is, but beasting is also gone, dude. We're having an apocalypse here.
Yeah, see, this is the point of this,
It's a
dude.
rapture.
We're identifying problems, man, and these things need to be ironed out. It needs to be ironclad
Yeah.
by the time we open this up, right? Because the idea is we're not trying to be the only bitmap out of all 850,000 bitmaps that have the ability to not just distribute their parcels through an LDE,
Yeah.
but also leverage this technology framework, this stack essentially that's in production,
Right.
to essentially do whatever they want, right? Onboard whatever kind of community they want, you know, develop out whatever kind of direction or focus they think is native to their bitmap.
Yeah.
And the community that partook in that land distribution event, right? That is what we feel. That's what we felt was the whole idea of Bitmap in the first place, right?
Yeah.
And our major contribution here. But like we said earlier, is being met with significant resistance, dude. So it begs the question is like, what are you supposed to be doing with your Bitmap if not this? Right.
That is the ultimate question.
Well, what do you think it is? Like, if you were to speculate,
If it's not this, right? If it's not people running around in a 3D environment, what is it?
yeah, this is where I was really hoping Bitoshi would have actually, like, instead of blocking all three of us, like actually come on and accepted our invitation to kind of let's have this back and forth, right? Because he's publicly saying like, you guys shouldn't rush to get to a point where you're trying to figure out how to efficiently and to trustlessly distribute these parcels out of a bitmap so you can onboard community. No need for that yet, guys. I don't know. So we need to understand
Why?
we need more clarity from Bitoshi. Why? Yeah, why?
Why wait?
How are
Doesn't
we
make any
rushing?
sense.
How are we rushing 16 months or so after the blockout?
Yeah.
How is this being interpreted as like going too fast? Right?
You know, you want fast development. Like, I've never heard anybody complain about development being too fast.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's too fast because it front runs something, you know, something of his potentially.
Oh, I see.
That might be it.
Huh.
So therefore, losing potential like perception of like
First is first?
essentially authority, right, over the ecosystem.
Mm.
I think that's has been attempted, right, by pushing these documentations of like
they had 15 months, dude.
15 months of a parcel standard, right?
Of a parcel standard,
from Bitoshi that nobody actually took advantage of to do something like this.
Yeah, and by the way, you've been able to parcel out using the tapping method for bitmaps since 2023. The reason why nobody did was because there was no incentive to do so. There's no reason to parcel out. So why would you do it? So nobody did, right?
Mhm.
And so now when we introduced this technology called child authority, all of a sudden we have almost 700 parcels in less than a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you explain the difference between tapping and
Yeah. So back in the day, before there was a parent-child infrastructure built into the ORD protocol, there was the need for parcelization because it was part of the bitmap spec, right? So tapping meant that you would inscribe the text, and then once, let's say you inscribe, like for example, the NATRIX has 4,012 parcels, you would just inscribe them all to yourself, and then you would tap it. So tapping meant that you would take your bitmap, and then you would just send it to yourself.
Yeah.
And what that would do is the indexer would say, okay, William parceled out his bitmap 4,012, right? All individual inscriptions. And I need him to tap and send it to himself to make sure that he still has possession of the bitmap asset. And so once that occurred, all 4,012 parcels in one shot are considered valid by the indexer. So that's been possible for like 6 to 10 months or something like that. Right before the whole parent-child infrastructure was actually supported by Casey.
Mm-hmm.
And what was weird is that even took a long time because it was what's his name from Danny Yang. Yeah, Danny Yang.
Yeah.
He's the one who was the first one to use parent-child way before, like in like February or January or something of 2023.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. And so then Casey saw that. He was like, this is like a good method to support. And it took him like almost 12 months to support it.
Correct. Yeah. Another example of a community contributor supporting to the evolution of a standard and a framework, right? A protocol.
Yes. That's unheard of, dude.
Yeah. It's a bad idea for communities to do anything, right?
Yeah.
Innovation not welcome in the Bitmap ecosystem, apparently, allegedly, is what like we're hearing from the existing cabal, essentially, right?
Yeah,
it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild, and it's not conducive to any kind of progress. So that is what's mind-boggling to us, and potentially a major turnoff for a lot of people who are trying to enter this ecosystem and understand, like, what is happening. It's not good, right?
Yeah, I mean, from an outsider's perspective, it's like you're looking at a bunch of bickering
nonstop
without having like the context. So it's not a good look for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But we're definitely not going to sit around and have people just claim that these are invalid parcels when you look at the text, we followed it to the T.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you didn't know there's different ways to interpret text, well, now you know.
Yeah, 100%. And guess what? For anything that is interpreted any differently, as people are saying, it's going to require a centralized indexer, essentially, right, to support that interpretation.
Right.
So it's a multifaceted, I guess, question of, I don't know, people's ideals, essentially, when it comes to everything in regards to crypto, right? It's a whole like maxi versus non-maxi sentiment, I guess, but it's also like a misunderstanding of how things actually work. Actually,
yeah.
I think that's the bigger thing here, right? It's people thinking that they're building something in tandem with like a belief of like some sort of greater good.
Yeah.
But actually not understanding how things actually function and operate technically.
Yeah, that's right.
So as a result of that, it's like,
yeah, that's a dangerous thing, right? If you don't understand how things work and you are like setting standards, we got problems. It's like, some sort of person that believes that dinosaurs aren't real and they never were real. Like, you don't want him teaching at a class, right? Because that's not the truth.
Yeah.
Right. So people who are setting standards need to know what they're doing.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. So regardless, I think this is probably going to be the last time where me personally, I don't know. What do you think? This is probably the last time we should probably ever mention Bitoshi's name, to be honest. I kind of agree. There's like a new sentiment floating around, and this sentiment kind of floated around last year too. So a lot of people were angry at us for like a title suggested was like WTF, Bitoshi losing his mind. Remember?
Yeah, that's when he was pushing TIT.
Literally.
Like TITT.
Yeah, some sort of communication protocol.
Which required you to send messages on chain. Like the most cost prohibitive of all protocols.
Yeah, but it wasn't just like that. It was the manner and the fashion of how he was pushing this TIT thing. Like, it was the sexual innuendos and stuff. It was just very off-putting.
That's true.
You could find those tweets of like the community back then, like very disgruntled. It's like, dude, Bitoshi, what the fuck are you doing? Right?
Yeah. And how is that conducive for the metaverse either?
It wasn't. Yeah, this was after like things were blowing up. Obviously, like the ego drip kind of overtook, right? And now it's like, I'm free to basically execute anything that comes to mind, right? You guys will agree with anything. Me. Yeah, he found out real quick. No, the market actually was very against that. And then he went even a further step to like demand 3 Bitcoin to like actually release the next phase of development and such. This is all documented. These things happened, right? And then he disappeared to a festival for like a whole month, right? So this is the guy we're supposed to rely and depend on as far as metaverse direction. Like development direction.
It's insane, yeah.
Yeah, so there was already a point in time where the community already kind of understood. It's like, we don't need to depend on him for anything.
No.
Right? That's not the point of this.
No.
The point is to actually not have that dependency.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you should have your own interpretation of what Bitmap is supposed to be and go and do it. Don't just talk about it. Go just do it.
Yeah.
Right? And whatever you implement, and hopefully you get users and maybe you don't, but it adds to the progression and the progress of Bitmap. because you get to learn what works and what doesn't.
Correct.
Right? That's what you're supposed to do.
Well, are you telling me that Twitter Spaces and Discord discussions aren't actually building?
That's exactly what I'm telling you.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, but it is a place to start, and we do encourage people to host these like Discords events and Twitter Spaces, because what did you and I do, right? Back in 2019. Are you a developer?
No,
Have you seen me develop?
not really.
Yeah, exactly. Well, now I am with AI, but that's besides the point. So what do? We started a podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're like building stuff.
Yeah,
So it's good. It's good to talk, but it's not good enough
to just talk. You
to
can't just talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta build. But so whatever. Even if you are just talking and building or whatever, and you got some other way to do things, then do it. That is the opportunity at hand.
Yeah.
It's
dude,
always been the opportunity since the beginning, and that was what was most exciting to us, is this opportunity to give developers like a shot to contribute to this massive effort of constructing the metaverse, right?
the big word here, the most important word is opportunity. If you guys disagree with what we're doing, that presents an opportunity.
Yeah, yeah.
Do it better.
Yeah.
Do it differently. Do it better.
Yeah.
If we're doing it wrong, do it right.
Yeah, if we're doing it wrong, it'll be pretty obvious, right? Like in the end product result is that like is the proof.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's recognizing market opportunities. So just do it.
Yeah, and all this is good for the end user at the end of the day, right? All this like bickering and competition is healthy actually, because this is what this is what the users of the Bitmap ecosystem are going to be able to interface into the future, and then with that experience be able to make the decisions like, you know, do I want to participate in this or something else? You know, ultimately this is how consensus is achieved. People like to throw that word consensus around like so frivolously.
Yeah.
Like it's down to like a town hall discussion on a Twitter space, and it's like without any voting mechanism at all, without any form of governance structure or anything. It's like we're forming consensus here on our Twitter space, guys. Like no, you're not.
You know
That is
what?
not how consensus is formed.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that, because there is a metaverse consensus forum.
Oh yeah, I remember that thing.
Yeah, and it started about I want to say like 2020. No, it started right after Mark Zuckerberg changed their name. All of a sudden, everybody's interested in the metaverse.
Yeah, and all of a sudden everybody wants to meet up and talk about it.
Yeah,
right.
and they're still talking, and they've done nothing.
I know. That's a great parallel.
It's 3 years of just meetups.
Yeah, let's talk about it, guys.
Man, that's insane.
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do with this information, dude?
I don't know. Just feel like you're part of it, I guess. Feel like you're part of the process, guys. Like, don't we feel good? It's very reminiscent of a religion, is it not? It's like where we meet up once a week.
Yeah, like nothing happens.
Yeah, basically we meet up once a week. We all just howdy ho. It's like we all like the metaverse today, right, guys? I sure do.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, man, we love that Bitoshi guy, don't you not? Maybe we should glaze him a bit today.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we should. That's gonna make all of us feel better, right? It sure will.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what I mean by
collective delusion.
Cult-like activity, right? Which it's fucking weird, dude. I mean, it's a little weird.
It's weird that it happens. It's not weird in the context of that it happens everywhere.
What?
This collective delusion, this behavior of getting together and just talking and
well then
feeling you're contributing to something here.
Yeah. Well, it's part of that human condition thing, right? It's ultimately it feeds the self, the ego.
Yeah.
Right? Like I get to log in and out of those meetings feeling a greater sense of self, even though I've literally achieved it and done nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the difference. I kind of agree with that philosophy. Unfortunately, we more embrace the actual doers of things. Right.
You know, even when we started the podcast, we were looking at the doers.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah. We weren't just talking just to talk. We were looking for active development and active problem solvers, and we would try to find those to like predict whether or not this potential project in blockchain was going to do well in the future.
Yeah.
Right. That was the whole point.
Agreed.
Right. You don't want to find a group of people just like talking and then like that's it. Like there's nothing there. So
I mean, you can if that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for some sort of like, sense of fulfillment, you're just not getting it.
Say it, man. Circle jerk.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're looking for that, it's perfectly fine. But don't expect any like substance to come out of that.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not happening, dude.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, whatever.
So TJ, how much time do we have left?
We're about halfway through.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just wanted to. So whatever, dude. Bitoshi ignored our invite. He blocked us instead because we're terrible developers. We're fucking up Bitmap, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, none of this is rooted at all to his separation between Track and Benny.
No, not at all.
Definitely not rooted.
Those
in
are
any
completely
way.
independent events.
There's any bias related to that at all. So
Nothing.
But so yeah, this is the last time I actually really want to like mention his name. I was think more so we'll just be focused on obviously delivering the substance, right? And not like talking about it. It's just giving regular updates on progress, real progress, right?
Yeah, agreed.
It's ultimately, at the end of the day, it's about creators, right? Supporting developers, supporting people who are going to actually build and contribute and create new value for Bitmap.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. So speaking of progress, let's talk about parcels one more time. So we spoke about the old version of the parcels, and now we can talk about like the new version of parcels.
Okay.
So the old version included this concept of tapping, right? It's just send the bitmap to yourself after inscribing parcels. The new version is parent-child.
Yeah.
Right? So let's talk about parent-child and what it is and like how it actually works. So parent-child requires you to send the parent as part of the transaction. So in that sending, the parent needs to be the first output to produce children, and then the child would be the subsequent outputs.
Yeah.
Right. So anytime that you have to like inscribe a block drop or a parcel or anything that's like using parent-child, let's say a collection, like in the case of Danny Yang and On-Chain Monkeys, you have to have a parent send that out, and then when it's sent out, it's the first output. The subsequent children or the subsequent outputs are the children of that transaction. So from Bitcoin's perspective, all you did was just align the outputs to be in a certain configuration. And then the ORD protocol reads that configuration and says, oh, I see that you're trying to do the parent-child because that is how I interpret this data.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And so now anyone who supports the ORD protocol, like Ordiscan and like other marketplaces, they can establish that provenance connection between the parents and the children.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So, and that's what parent-child is. And there's nothing more than that.
Okay.
All right. So how does this apply to parcels? Like, what's the issue here?
Yeah. What is the issue, dude?
Okay.
How did you fuck everything up? That's what people really want to know.
Well, okay. So now that we understand parent-child and well, yeah, now let's talk about parcels. So under this scheme, it's like I have a bitmap with 4,012 parcels, right? So under the scheme, if I have to send out the bitmap, that means I need to own the bitmap, right? So that's like the first requirement. I need to own it. Okay, so now I want to produce, all 4,012 parcels because I want to create a community and I want to do that. So, okay, so now I need to create a bulk child inscription, perhaps, and I need to send the bitmap and then inscribe all those parcels to yourself. And those parcels are going to be the first outputs of this like bulk child inscription. So the bitmap is out, all 4,000 children are part of the outputs, and then I got my parcels, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I did it. So, but how much did that cost me?
Well, in today's, I don't know. Do you have like, could you like do the napkin math potentially if I give you like a sats per V-byte?
Well, so the sats per V-byte for a parent-child is more expensive because more stuff is happening.
Correct.
So even if it was like $2, that's $8,000 just to inscribe parcels to myself.
Correct.
Right. And so Now, okay, it's like, okay, so you have to have $8,000. So what? Big deal.
Yeah.
Now multiply that requirement to all 860,000 bitmaps. Now you're talking about multiple millions of dollars of requirements for people to even parcel out their bitmap.
Well, even just like one individual bitmap, right? Like that's cost prohibitive.
Right, $8,000. You would
Yeah.
agree. Like that's
Yeah.
not
That's
not
not-
something that you just like do.
Yeah, that is not negligible. I mean, I guess if you're like already like pre-funded in some sense
Yeah.
to try and like attempt to create some sort of metaverse, anything.
Yeah.
right? I want to leverage this metaverse on Bitcoin thing I'm hearing about, right?
Yeah.
I've already done like a 10K PFP sale or something. So, I got some, I
Yeah.
have some
Yeah.
resources.
For sure. And you can still do that today. Right? Like, yeah, it's you could actually still achieve that today. So
No, I know, but for the user who doesn't have that like prerequisite of activity, I'm like, dude, I just don't have the resources, but I could still put my foot in the arena to try and like kickstart a killer community in this metaverse sector, right? You
Yeah.
know? But yeah, dude, I mean, shit, I'm on ramens today.
Right.
I'm on the ramen schedule.
that's right. Yeah.
It
and-
happens, dude. There's
sure.
we have experience with super talented devs who are in that state, right?
Yeah.
They have so much ability, they can contribute so much, but they don't have the resources,
That's right.
right?
I mean, that's anybody who's starting anything. Like you,
Yeah.
you typically don't have resources. You
That's
just
true.
typically don't.
Yeah.
So,
So the idea is to make things more efficient and to introduce tools and mechanisms that help people in that regard. Why? Because you want everybody to have access to that opportunity.
that's right.
And that introduces risk that way, right? What if you make all these parcels and then you can't sell them out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Makes no sense. Okay,
Yeah.
so now let's summarize a little bit because we're not done, right? So
Okay.
So throughout this history of ordinals and bitmap, it's like we have the tapping method, now we have the parent-child. And when we were running this tapping sort of scenario at the time, like that, pre-parent-child, nobody parceled out, right? So that clearly identifies a new problem. There's no reason to parcel it out.
Yeah.
Right? So that's problem number one. Problem number two is what we described earlier is like there's a huge risk with putting up $8,000 to inscribe these children to distribute them out. And yeah, you can inscribe only 50 or 100, but that doesn't solve the issue across mass scale, right? So two problems again, right? The cost of the parcels and the incentive to even parcelize. Two problems, right? And then all of a sudden, some random day, some YouTubers launch the NATRIX and in 4 days or whatever it is, 700 parcels were generated. And then, but why? I was like, well, there was an incentive to parcel, right? You can actually jump into the NATRIX and start building.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, 700, it's like, that is what the market like was available, right? So it wasn't imagine if we inscribed the 4,000 and then we had put them all for sale and then only 700 were purchased. It's like, just sell 700 instead of inscribing 4,000.
Correct.
So it's like, this is a much better outcome than taking the risks of inscribing things to yourself and then maybe nobody caring.
And then there's also like the custodian risk, right?
Yeah,
Of the
yeah,
bitmap
okay.
itself. So there's another like problem.
So yeah, we haven't like really, got into that yet. So now we have a NATRIX with 700 parcels, way more than any other mechanism prior to this, right? In so few days. So how does this work? So instead of having anybody send us their bitmap so we can produce the children, because remember, you need the parent asset in your wallet to send it out.
Yeah.
You need it.
We didn't make those rules.
We didn't make it. No.
We're just following the rules
Exactly.
of the ordinal protocol, right?
Right. So we're like, all right, guys. So we had a meeting. It's like we could just have everybody send us their bitmap, whoever wanted to use this method, and we can still do LDEs. You just have to send us our bitmap. And we all collectively said, hell no.
Yeah.
We don't want anybody's bitmap. We
Correct.
want zero custodial effect.
100%. Yeah, we're definitely not trying to pull a Jeff here, right?
Yeah,
Send
and
us
there-
all your maps.
And there are
Not
people
having
out there who are like, just send me all your bitmaps. And there are other people, which to my surprise would be like, okay,
it. A lot of people.
yeah.
Actually, to my surprise as well, dude.
Yeah.
I'm quite shocked. It was like, sure.
Yeah, I couldn't believe. But then
Yeah.
I was like, okay, understanding incentives.
Yeah.
People were incentivized to send the bitmap
Yeah.
for some shitcoin,
Yeah.
right? And it worked beautifully.
Did work.
It's a wonder how incentives actually like pan out.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's like, okay, we know we don't want anybody to send us a bitmap. So how do we do it? It's like, well, we have exposure to technology called privilege authority, right? So why don't we come up with some method where we can ascribe a JSON that gives someone else the authority as a child?
Dude, you already said like the most evil thing you could have said.
It's like Jason.
Jason? You mean like the fucking the knife guy?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so already. You're that is the divide. People who for
It's funny. Jason is made up of text. You know
Yeah.
what also is made up of text?
a bitmap.
A bitmap. Yes.
Okay,
You mean
sorry.
that's not technology?
Not only that, it's like it's an authority. It is like almost like a smart contract, if you will, like a very basic one.
Yeah.
And in the smart contract, you're just telling the indexers, hey, I'm giving the authority to Mscribe, and Mscribe is the only one who can produce these assets. So now you have this JSON as a child to your bitmap as the authority. Send that authority to a marketplace that supports this function like Mscribe, and then Mscribe will produce the children on your behalf as a child inscription to the JSON.
Yeah.
And then what do you know? If you go look at Genie data and you go look at the bitmap or the parcels or the JSON, there is what's called provenance connection maintained across all the assets.
Sounds pretty nice to me, dude. I think that's a pretty sensible like outline of how to do things.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
specifically for this use case, right?
Right. So really, there's not really two problems. There's three problems. The third problem is the custodial problem.
Yeah.
Right. We didn't want custody of any of the assets. So really, there was three problems. And so we solved all those three problems. We have the NATRIX. We have the JSON structure. We have the ability to mitigate cost for the bitmap owner.
Yeah.
We solved all those things in one swing, and then we released the NATRIX, and we have 700 parcels in circulation.
Yeah, man. Congratulations. Kudos.
I mean, I did this overnight, dude.
No, you didn't, dude. I saw all the sweat, dude. It's actually a lot of work, dude. So credits to our developers for actually doing this.
Like actually executing.
Yeah, because
I'm just coming up with solutions, and they're making it actually work.
yeah, I mean I think that's a good thing, right? Shout out to the doers, right? Not the talkers.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So that's what's happening, right?
Does that make sense, TJ?
Yes.
That was very quick.
Yeah, that was quick, dude.
That's good.
That was almost planned, dude.
I mean, I get the luxury of being behind the scenes and listening to you guys talk about a lot of this too. So, I mean, I understand it probably
Yeah.
a lot better than most people, but yeah.
Okay.
That's true. We do spend a lot of time talking about this. Like, even when we're not recording, we're still talking
Believe
about
it or not, there is a lot of prep that goes into stuff like this, right?
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, but a lot of people don't understand this, right? Again, it's rooted to not even understanding how things work, like at the ordinal level,
Mhm.
how things work at the indexer level,
Yeah.
how things work. Period. Right. So it's no surprise that there's so much like confusion as to like how things should be done in its most efficient manner. Right?
Yeah.
And a lot of it again is pinned to Bitoshi's like anti-Benny, anti-track tap sentiment. Originating from whatever the hell happened, because again, everything's documented. At some point, Bitmap and Bitoshi was like,
Yeah. That was one
fully
of the
aligned.
first partnership announcements.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so all of a sudden, since that point in time, all of a sudden, nothing related to track and tap should have anything to do with Bitmap, right? That's Bitoshi's statements.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And also, I see all this like talk about like VC is bad.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. I get it that there's some VCs who are out there to, take advantage, and like TGE events and things like that. But not all VCs are like that. I guarantee you, not all VCs are like that because we know them, right? We know that how this works. It's not malicious.
Yeah. So it's just a lot of this is just again misunderstandings of things and just Twitter chatter. It's unnecessary, right?
Yeah.
So at this point, I think you did a good job explaining like the situation. I don't think there should be any more confusion at this point. Now it's like we've got product delivery leveraging this.
Yeah. So talk to me about the Twitter space. So what happened? I think it was yesterday. We had 2 Twitter spaces at the exact same time.
Yeah.
And I think M. Boyley kind of moved it up because of like scheduling and all this stuff. So we ended up having 2 Twitter spaces simultaneously. You mentioned that there was a lot of people looking to LDE as well.
Oh yeah. I think 3 just within that Twitter space alone, 3 people within the community they're anticipating and inquiring like when is this going to be opened up so that I can perform my own LDE.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. So I mean that is really part of the motivation of all of this is like leveraging the NATRIX as this like experimental grounds to really refine and hone in on optimizing everything so it's accessible for anybody to take advantage of. Because again, we're not going to be the best at building a metaverse community, right?
Well, we never were.
Well, we never assume we're the best at anything, right?
Right.
But we do assume like if we can give people, creators, developers the best tools, that they will produce something valuable with them. Like
100%.
That is the assumption.
And it's been proven time and time again. Anytime you give creators and developers tools, they make stuff that will blow your mind.
Yeah, which is already being proven in the NATRIX. So anybody who's like a hater, I dare them, literally. Anybody who's fudding, talking mad shittery, show me anything that's been built in the Bitmap ecosystem that can even come close to what these NATRIX developers are building.
I mean, look at this unique avatar, dude.
Yeah.
It's wearing an M crown.
And it's a real Nat Cat.
And it's a real Nat Cat. And it's wearing a DMT t-shirt.
Yeah. Yeah, these are all so it's a unique avatar. This wearable, it's interchangeable just like a wearable should be, right? Including that crown. And this is just beginning days, dude. So
this is like 4 days into it.
Yeah, it's actually insane, like the rate of progression already. And something we shared during that Twitter space yesterday, just a little tease of like we're getting the attention from the right people.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Where we're gonna get our hands on even more tools to make this even better, right?
Yeah.
I think we're really gonna end up shocking people at the end of this, like with what you can do on your Bitmap.
Yeah, 100%.
With these tools, right? Because I mean, based on our metaverse experience, like in the tools we've interfaced with in the past, nothing comes close to it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, is there anything you can kind of like shed light a little bit as far as like, without actually fully?
I'm thinking about
unveiling.
one thing, but
what
it's
thing?
too badass.
Yeah, don't drop all the nuggets.
Shit.
Or do we want to preserve it for like down the road?
I say let's preserve it.
Okay.
Let's preserve it.
Okay.
But there was something I wanted to say about this particular Nat Cat. I can't remember now.
This one?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like?
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't know if it was like the whole avatar scheme and all that, but it's fine.
Okay. Well, anyways, all right. So that's
so you're saying that we're getting the attention of the right people, and that is kind of the point of doing these things is you gotta like release stuff. You don't release stuff, you're not gonna ping anybody's radar.
Mm.
And so we're trying to build as fast as possible so that we can ping the right people.
But why though? So that we can
make progress.
Make progress and improve the tools even more. I'm in here right now. I see some sneaker action.
Oh wait,
what? You can't see it.
Where
Damn
at?
It. Beasting, he's wearing the Nat flyers, dude.
Oh.
You can't see it though. I see it.
That sucks.
Yeah, we got some real bugs to work through here, but like you said, it's day 4. But this is he's another example of a wearable. It's like the Nat flyer is another DMT collection.
Yeah.
That is now present in the NATRIX, which is fucking insane.
Yeah, so this means that we have a vector of partnership capabilities.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
right?
We were talking to a watch company yesterday on the Twitter space.
OCW?
OWC, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, which is essentially like a Bitcoin watch that it's a digital product, right? Where the real world asset itself kind of gives you like a notification whenever Bitcoin's price is up or down.
Yeah.
So I was telling this developer is like, hey, the wearable infrastructure is pretty much in an almost completed state within the NATRIX. So it would be pretty cool if people can actually, purchase this ordinal and be able to have it, as a wearable asset in the metaverse and still have that same functionality.
Yeah, hell yeah. I think you can actually do it.
Like, could you imagine? It's like you're wearing it right now, right?
Yeah.
And then I don't know, Bitcoin is kind of tanking, is down 2% today, so you get like
heart attack.
If it's tied to like an emote or something,
yeah.
you just fucking drop dead.
Yeah. Your heart rate is up.
Yeah, you like shit your pants.
Yeah.
It's like, what's going on, dude? Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, you could.
You can absolutely tie like a real world event to an in metaverse emote.
Yeah.
Right? And we'll call them smart wearables. We'll call them dynamic wearables. I don't know. We'll figure something out, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Which would be cool. Like it's like a programmable wearable that is like contextual based off like how you program it.
Yeah.
And so like if let's say like you jump and like wings form.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that'd be cool, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you could do like crazy stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then in my Twitter space, I got to speak with Scott Page. You know who that is?
Yeah, Pink Floyd, right?
Pink Floyd.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, one of the musicians in Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
What was that? What was he saying?
He's deep into crypto, dude.
Like super deep?
Like as deep as it gets.
He's deeper than us?
I would say no. I would say not as deep as us, but he sold like several $1 million NFTs.
Oh, last cycle.
I'm thinking that.
Has to be.
Yeah.
Nobody's selling any NFTs anymore, dude. Yeah, we're moving on to the ordinal landscape. That's why he was part of the space, right? Trying to understand ordinals.
Pretty much. I mean, I think he knows ordinals. Like ordinals been around long enough for people to kind of know, especially if you're in crypto. I think.
I don't think most people. I feel like still don't know.
How can we verify this? It's like
I think you verify based on like the volume charts, dude. It's like clearly most people don't know ordinals is like a thing.
But if you're like in crypto, like during the bear cycle, I feel like you gotta know.
No, dude.
No,
there's no way, man. That's why they call it a bear cycle, because everyone just doesn't know, right?
Is that why?
That's what it feels like to me.
I thought it was just number go down, dude.
Well, that's why number go down, because nobody know nothing, dude. So it's like, fuck, where do we put our money if we don't know, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It's once everyone starts to know things, it's like, oh, now I know NFTs.
Oh, ordinals.
Yeah, it's like, oh, ordinals, Bitcoin, DMT, fucking runes, fucking even like fractal, like all this shit, right? It's like, oh, okay, now I know about it. Let me like.
Yeah, I'm way ahead of everybody. They don't know about it.
Yeah, let me try.
Yeah.
Let me try and get in on this stuff, right? So.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, they just don't know yet, dude.
Yeah, and so I got to speak with him and I told him about the NATRIX and all that, and he was down. He was down to like collaborate, and he's a very open guy. And it was just cool talking to him. And it was brought by Nat Monkeys.
Mm.
So that's how I know that community does know about, like, for sure DMT. But they definitely know about ordinals.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. I mean, I enjoyed my Twitter space. Sounds like you enjoyed yours as well, right?
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, man. So this is it. So we're gonna keep our head down, nose in. What do they say? Keep your head down.
Yeah.
Keep building. Keep grinding. Whatever.
Yeah, dude, we got so many things coming.
I know.
You know, if you thought that this was a lot, there's still a lot more left.
It's definitely been a lot. It's been a lot. And yeah, we're really trying here, dude. Like if you couldn't tell, we're really trying, because read the Git book, man. The motivation behind all this, it's
massive.
What?
It's the motivation.
Yeah, the motivation. Well, it's just because nobody's doing it right from our perspective, to be honest. Like bitmaps are just sitting in people's wallets, not being utilized. Right.
Yeah.
That's not the point of the metaverse. The point of the metaverse is to get people these bitmaps and to get people into them doing something, creating value.
Yes.
Right?
Because that's how you create value, and that's how the perceived value from the outside has potential number go up opportunity.
Well, yeah, you keep saying that because you understand that's at the end of the day all most people care about, right?
That's right, yeah.
Specifically in this space, because yeah, that's the idea is it's like we don't have to take on all this execution risk, right? We could just hold on to some digital asset, and as long as we all like just spam on Twitter hard enough and long enough, we can get enough people believing in like some blue sky narrative without actually having to like deliver on anything.
Yeah, right? And you're totally okay by doing that. You got memes for that.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yes.
It's like if you're down with that, like that's the kind of like
dude, you got a whole industry,
a whole sector
waiting for you.
Yeah, that's totally cool. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to vibe over just like something funny, do it.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, Bitmap has way more implications. So yeah, we're putting in as much as we can as far as contribution here. So yeah, man, not much else to say about Bitmap, to be honest. No. Other than wait for more updates.
Well, let's talk about just one small thing. Won't take long. Is like the next steps.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Some updates, right?
Yeah, next steps like when, like for example, DMT Pirates, they're wanting to do an LDE. It's like, when can they do it? It's like, what is it going to take? Maybe Outer Studios, they're going to want to do an LDE. Like, what is it? Everybody really waiting for? So part of the NATRIX launch was that we wanted to test the nature of parceling in this new scheme, right? This child authorization scheme, right? So it worked, right? No one lost a bitmap. People are jumping into the NATRIX. It's fine, right? So what's next? Well, part of this is we need to put in like whitelist functionality. We need to put like limitations per wallet functionality, all kinds of stuff that you'd come to expect like for a mint. We need to implement all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then we need to optimize like how the timing goes for a parent-child. Because by the way, one thing that we forgot to mention during the parent-child explanation is that during bulk children transactions, it takes a while because let's say the three of us are trying to get a parcel, and let's say that it's implemented in a way where 10 parcels need to exist to execute that bulk parent-child.
Yeah.
So that means that the parent needs to be sent out, and once it's sent out, you have to wait for it to come back and to perform the next bulk child, right, transaction. So people are made the purchases and they have to wait maybe like an hour or more for transactions to come in so that we can build that bulk transaction.
Yeah.
So bulk parent-child just takes a long time. So we need to figure out a way to optimize like the speed of this in a way, and I don't even think we can actually control this, but we have to do something. Maybe a better like indicator of like what state of the progress bar it is.
Correct. So, but no understanding as far as like how long that would take, right?
Yeah, I mean it's still, we're waiting for Bitcoin. That's one thing, but we're also waiting for transactions to come in, and the more that come in, the faster this thing goes. But if it's slow, it's going to take a while, and so there's like that.
Okay. So can you give like a ballpark maybe? Like because it's not just that, right? It's also ensuring that Bitmap OS.
Yeah, so that was the other thing. And so typically if you're going to do an LDE, they're like, I also want to use Bitmap OS.
Yeah, that's
because there's no other like
you said, well, what's the incentive then?
Exactly.
You can leverage the parcel mechanism, the parcel distribution mechanism, but then at the end of the day, what are these holders of parcels going to do with them?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like, okay, I want to use Bitmap OS. It's like, by the way, guys, hosting this costs money, right? Yeah. There is like running costs to keeping this like online.
Correct.
Right, and it's just like anything else, like a website, everything else. Like the Ord client costs money to run.
Yeah.
Right. So these are applications running on a server that you are paying for. Right. So so we got to work out ways where people can fork this and run Bitmap OS on their own server. They can optimize their costs in whatever format that they want, but they don't have to build the whole UNAT system and the whole avatar system and the way that we connect the 3 different wallets. Like fork all that, run it on your own, but be part of the ecosystem so that anytime there's a new avatar, it works in both like servers, right? So guess what that sounds like? Decentralization. Now you're having multiple experiences, not depending on any one server.
Does it also sound like interoperability?
It also sounds like interoperability.
Sounds like the right foundations to achieve an actual interoperable metaverse where I can host my own virtual environment, build my own ecosystem, my own community, whatever, and still have these applications and like these avatars, all these digital assets still be traversable between these different environments and ecosystems, right? Like, which is the killer unlock of the metaverse, right? You don't want you don't want to be able to use something in one bitmap, right?
That would be crazy.
Yeah, you want these assets to be traversable through every single bitmap, right? So
yeah, I mean, it sounds like a good idea, right?
Sounds like a pretty good one, dude.
Yeah.
Sounds like we got a pretty good direction, I would say.
So all that stuff that I just mentioned, like hopefully we can get it done in a month. Hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, saying it out loud is pretty ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah.
It sounds pretty, but you know what? Not actually impossible.
No, it's not impossible.
Yeah.
But we got other things to do. Like, for example, Beasting, he wants to do the block drop for the NatCat avatars.
Correct.
So we're focusing on that, right? That's why you're looking at this guy,
right?
And then on top of that, it's like, well, if we do this, well, why don't we just enable wearables? And here we are.
That's right. So pretty soon, if you own a NatCat, you're going to have the ability to claim your avatar and essentially run around in the NATRIX as your intended identity, right? As you should,
right?
And I think that's also coming for the Royals. That's in development as well.
Yeah.
Nat flyers we already saw are in here, and yeah, this is a framework in production that's going to be like ubiquitous, right? So anybody can come in and kind of replicate this and do this. Like if you want to launch a DMT UNet collection first, the way all these previous projects have, you do that.
Yes.
The tools are all in place, right? The block pad is running live. We got bit miners still being claimed today.
That's right.
So you could do that. And
and not to mention a meta framework so that people can build applications and start distributing like actual. Oh, wait a minute. What is this?
What happened, dude?
I was going to say distributing actual businesses as ordinals, DMT ordinals.
And headless cats?
Yeah, and headless cats.
Dude, that's creepy, actually. Wow. Okay.
It's friendly, dude, not creepy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But yeah, hopefully that gives you some understanding as the difficulty that goes to doing what we're doing.
Yeah, I think it sounds like a great plan, dude. I'm very much looking forward to like a much more like finished state to this, so we can open this up because I want to see like this Cambrian explosion of attempt, right? Not just at the creator level, but also at the community level to try and leverage all this stuff, all these tools.
Yeah.
Bring in the meme communities into the metaverse on Bitcoin. Like that's
100%.
I think that's a really big deal. Like $1 billion cat is absolutely going bonkers right now.
Yeah.
In the Runes ecosystem. This community needs a place to actually like lock in together. Like, define themselves.
That community can do an LDE at, very little cost, just the platform fees.
Yeah.
And, it's all of a sudden everyone's like running around in $1 billion cat land.
Yeah. Yeah. Whoever's got those parcels can now outfit them however they want using these established tools to represent that ethos, right?
Yeah.
The cats, right? There's so many different metas you can create.
Oh, yeah.
So much. It's infinite.
Dude,
potential.
The avatars and the wearables and like the emotes.
Yeah, I think that's the next thing, dude. It's like, well, we might have a meme super cycle on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun. And then let's have like bring all that into the metaverse, right?
Yeah, hell yeah.
And like, let's actually.
I think that's a reasonable outcome for this cycle.
I think so too. Yeah. So there's a reason why Bitmap was created, and it was for this purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for us. Hopefully, we've explained parent-child and the NATRIX and how parcels work. If you have any questions, let us know in the comment section below. I appreciate you guys for watching, and we will catch you in the next podcast.
Peace.